Welcome to Crime and Wine. I'm Pamela Fagan Hutchins, your host, and this is the show where I talk with other crime fiction writers about the stories of thrills and suspense that will leave you mystified, sometimes horrified, and always wanting more. Please join me in welcoming today's special guest. Hi out there, everybody. I am so excited today. I'm excited because we are going to not only talk about the chills and thrills that'll leave you mystified, but we're going to laugh while we do it today. And laughing is good. Before I welcome our very, very funny special guest, I'm going to give a shameless plug. I admit it. This moment is all about me and the new releases that I have out, which are, there we go, Her Silent Bones, Her Hidden Grave, Her Last Cry. It's the Detective Delaney Pace series. It's the first time I've gone hardcore crime fiction. So help me not fail spectacularly at it. Thank you so much. And now let's move on to our special guest, Tonya Kappes.
Congratulations to you. And all three came out last week?
All three came out last week. My publisher talked me into a scary thing.
Well, it's working.
Hey, well, you guys, this is Tonya Kappes. For those of you who don't know her, she is like the queen of cozy Southern mystery. Does that work? The queen?
I wouldn't say I'm the queen. And I am a mother of 4 boys. They're all adults between 30 and 24. And I always said I am the queen, the jester, and the princess of my family. But I don't know if I'd be the queen of cozy mystery, but I do sure love it.
You should. You rock at it, you guys. She is so funny. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about her, but first through the lens of her teacher in, 4th grade, who said, Tonya worked hard to improve her reading grade this 9 weeks. Her daily work was much better. She felt down at the end when she didn't turn in 2 out of the required 3 book reports. You guys, this woman has gone on to turn in her book reports. She has over 180 mysteries out. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. And I have that report card, and it's the old, big yellow report cards from the 70s. And where you even had to take construction paper and, staple it together and write my name on it and color it. I don't even think we had stickers that I could put on it, and you'd slip it in there. I have all of those. And that one in particular, it cracks me up, because, and my mother always hates, and I know she's probably watching, but she hates when I take it and on stage, and she will travel with me. And I always laugh and say, my mom was a stay-at-home mom until I was 12. Where were you in these
You'd come home and say, don't have any homework, Mom. All good. And your mom's like, look at my little angel. Way to get it all finished at school.
And that isn't the only book report card that says that, or that's not the only report card through my history of school that says that. But that's the one that sticks out the most because it's so funny. She said she was trying to be so nice and said, she would have done much better. But I have to say that my small town of Nicholasville, Kentucky, all of my teachers are very excited that, I have moved on and moved past that fear of writing those book reports.
They're like, look, she made something of herself. I think that's really cool that you still have a connection. Do you still live in the same town, but you keep connections with some of the people there and the teachers and things like that?
So my whole family still lives there. So I live about 2 hours north outside of Cincinnati in Kentucky. And so they're in central Kentucky. They're right outside of Lexington. And so that's central Kentucky, about 2 hours south of me. And so I have my cousins and some aunts and uncles and all my high school friends. And everybody still lives there. And that was a big deal when I moved away. People were like, I cannot believe you're moving out of town. I'm like, I know. What am I thinking? And that was back in the 90s. I graduated college. I was a teacher, and I'm like, I'm out of here. But I always say that's home, that my stuff lives here. But that's home.
I love it. And I wanted to share that we're having some people check in. We're probably going to have a lot of commenters that want to talk to you because you are the queen of Southern Cozy Mystery. So this is actually Emily. Hi, Emily, who says, hi, ladies. And our friend Carolyn Ritter Aspenson. Yeah. You're amazing too, girlfriend.
Yeah, I was on the phone today with Carolyn for an hour talking about planners.
I love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit about your foray into this new series.
So a couple of years ago, I got this idea of writing a girl, and I live in the middle of the woods, actually, overlooking the Ohio River. And literally I can go 10 minutes and be in Cincinnati. That way I can go this way and I'm in the rural Kentucky. So there's a small town that's so cute, and it's called Camp Springs, Kentucky. And it is known for its stone houses that built back in the late 1700s and early 1800s, and they're still standing. And I'm talking 2-foot block walls out of stone. And they have a driving tour. There's a winery. It's amazing to see these houses are still standing. And you can drive, I'll drive right up to these people's house that own one of the stone houses, and they do 2 tours a year. But since I live here, I kind of was doing the research and, coming up. And then they have a saddle club, which is got a horse parking. It says horses parking here. People ride their horses up there. And you can be a member of the saddle club in order to go in and eat and have drinks. And then they also have like little rodeos there. Also, they have a rural fire department, volunteer fire department there. And they have a winery. Plus, because in this area back in the 1800s, it was the biggest wineries in the United States. And so we have Kentucky bluegrass, which is why we got fast horses and great bourbon. It's all from our bluegrass, our limestone. So wineries over the past 10 years, I'd say, have started popping up prevalent again in our area. But the grapevines are already there. So people are starting to go there, and we have like a couple of wineries in this small town. Then there's a farm that you can actually go and get real beef and you see the chickens running around, you get real eggs. And it's all natural and really organic, grass-fed animals. I went there and learned how to make hand pies because they also
goodness.
So what happened is at this other farm, they owners bought the other store in Camp Springs, Kentucky, which is the Camp Springs Tavern. And there's like no post office, there's no stores. This is all in this rural, and you have to drive the roads or your horse to get to these places. And so Camp Springs Tavern every other Thursday night has bring your own instruments. So when you go, it's literally a tiny bar in this stone house. And I mean, it's the size of like a bedroom. It's not that big. So people come in with their fiddles, their banjos, their guitars. They're like, instead of bringing in big drums, they'll bring in the box and they'll drum on a box. And so that I'm like, I really have to put somebody here. And I've been writing so many cozies. Maisie isn't your typical sleuth. She is a little grittier. She's skewed on the side of the law. And sometimes I think about myself, like if one of my family members was in trouble, I would help them hide the body, and we would then go to church on Sunday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so Maisie just came to me, and I she just started pouring out of me a couple of years ago. And she is on the wrong side of the law, and she ends up being a confidential informant for the marshals here in Kentucky and Cincinnati. And my brother-in-law is an undercover drug cop, so I kind of know some of the things, and just asking him what the deal is, and learning that even just through being in, cozies and taking the local police academy and different things, that you do to do thrillers, right? And ask the people, become those friends. So Maisie just kind of popped in to my head, and I had my editors edit it, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is like Sweet Home Alabama and Justified had a baby." And I'm like, "That is so right," because I don't know if you ever watched Justified,
Oh
but
God, I love it. Yeah.
she is Boyd Crowder. She is not Freeland. Like she is bad, and she's
and he's hilarious, right? So it's still so Tonya Kappes. It's still so Southern funny.
Yes, and Harlan ain't too far from me, so I'm like, I know those people well. So but I held on it for 2 years, and I've had the covers for all three for the 2 years. And my cover artist, she's like, "When can we show these covers?" I'm like, "No, we can't do anything. My readers aren't ready yet. My cozy readers aren't ready. I've got to educate them because the covers look a lot edgier because I love those thriller covers. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I don't care. And so, but I'm going to educate. I'm going to educate my readers on what they are. And, you have hard-boiled mysteries, and then you have your cozy mysteries, and you have your thrillers. So it's somewhere between a hard-boil and a cozy. So I started plastering hard-boiled, cozy. And people were like, "What is this?" And I would say, there's still no, sex or cussing on the page, but it's the cozy feels with chiller thrills. And it's fast paced. It's more fast paced. Like in my cozies, you really get to know the town, and you really get to know, the grandparents and the cousins and the second cousins, and when you get Maisie, and it's fast paced. And, although she's on the side of the law to help fulfill her duties to get off her charges, there's a side plot that she has to be bad in order to help a best friend. And, you see her grappling with that, but at the end she's like, "Oh heck, I got to go help my friend." They'll never know. We'll just cover that up, which of course will happen in subsequent books. So I started to educate my readers, and I started to read some of the chapters, and it's still on brand. I've always said that I'm my brand. My books are not my brand. I'm the brand of my books and my publishing company. And so if I can bring them along the Southern, which is what they love, and the funny Southern and funny, then I'm still under the umbrella of Tonya Kappes. And so that's what I tell them, it's still on brand. It's still fun. She takes you for a wild ride, and you just have to love her because she's just so crazy. But and so I was really excited. This morning it was still #1 in hard boiled new releases after a week. I was super excited about that. And but it was funny because even authors were messaging me when I first said, "I'm got this book up for pre-order," and they're like, "What are you doing? Are you switching genres?" And I'm like, "Is this even a genre?" No, but I'm picking it up.
Maybe, but I'm still Tonya Kappes, and
it's still on brand. You're gonna love it, I promise. If you don't love it, I'll give you money back.
Everybody that I've heard from loves it. In fact, Emily is telling us right now she's almost finished and she loves it. And I know that your readers are going to love it because, oh, by the way, that would be my Malamute who, come here, sweetie pie, you need a hug. Yeah. Oh my God, she just got on the treadmill. She wants to, I'm sorry, we cannot do this.
Are y'all stuck inside? Is that our exercise?
This is our exercise. Yeah, they're like real sled dogs. Like we have sleds, and we're in Bakersfield, California temporarily. And these dogs are like, oh my God. So anyway, she's standing on the treadmill and crying right behind me. Thank God for the fake background. Excuse us. Thank you. So Jeff Crawford just checked in. Do you know Jeff? He's a horror writer.
I don't, and I don't write horror. I'm telling you, it might look like
but he likes all writers, and he says, sounds interesting and gotta dig the accent. Yes, you do. You are authentic.
Oh yeah. I write the way I talk. When I had one of my first cozies. I had 3 books out, and it sold to HarperCollins back in 2014. And it was a ghostly Southern mysteries. And so they said, well, we want to purchase your series. And I said, well, we'll take one contract of 1 book and see how that goes. And so, they were like, oh, we can't really publish you can't really talk like this in a book. I'm like, oh yeah, I can, and I've sold, 30,000 copies. I think I can talk like that. If you're wanting the book, then you're going to have to keep it the way it was. And it served us well. So I'm very, the way you see me here is exactly how I am, the way I write. And I'm not saying it's right. I wasn't supposed to be a writer. I was a teacher by trade in elementary school. So we sang the wheels on the bus. And then I also went on to be a child therapist, and I still sang the wheels on the bus. And I tell you, when I was in therapy with the family, and when I was like talking to the parents and the child, and I'm looking at the mother thinking, oh my God, you're the problem. We need to kill you. I thought, I think I'm at a point now where I need to stop this career and really think about doing something different.
Yeah. No murdering the clients. And we're here, commenters are chiming in. The Ghostly Southern series is so fun. So
yeah.
And that's where it all began. Now you've got more books coming out one after another this year. You are a hardworking woman. So how fast will you be rolling out Maisie's series?
So the next book in that will be out in May, I believe. I can look at my planner that Carolyn and I were talking to. Yes. So May is one, and then the next one's in August. So since I'm an independent self-published author, I can schedule out and write my books. And, I'm empty nest. So we're both up here. My husband did early retirement last year after 35 years to come work for our company. So he helps out now with a lot of the advertisements and things that I would do in the afternoon. And now I've got even more time. I think he's like, keep writing. But, it does allow me to write more, and I love it so far. And I am about 3 books ahead, so I can take off if I want to.
That's great.
So that is what my daily consists of, is writing and taking care of my community of readers, which I love.
Well, you do a great job of that. You guys need to go out to her website and to her Facebook page and her Instagram and check some of this out, because she really engages with all the people that love her books. Reader of the week, or reader of the month, I guess. You do postings and all kinds of reader of the week, and just really fun stuff. So,
and I have a Patreon. I have a few thousand people there, and we do a monthly Zoom. We have a monthly book club. We right now we're exchanging Galentines. We do a Christmas sock exchange, and we pull names, and we don't open them up until the Zoom, and then we open up our sock exchange on Zoom.
That's
Friendsgiving. And then every year in October, I host my own reader get together. So
I saw that. That's so fun. And you take it to a different location every time.
Every year. Yeah. We rent a mystery train and a mystery troupe. And while we're there, we do local things. Like this year, it's in Cincinnati, just right across from me, and hometown, and we're actually doing right here in Kentucky. In Northern Kentucky was one of the biggest gangster populations in Newport. And so we're going on a gangster tour. And then Cincinnati has an underground tour. And there was actually a beautiful, and I know this, my husband was an electrician in a former life, but they have a beautiful, real subway system in Cincinnati that's never been in operation, but it has beautiful tile. It has the train cars down there, the turnstiles. It is beautiful. It is amazing. And so they actually take you on an underground tour of Cincinnati. And then also where they did a lot of bootlegging, there's a lot of caves that go up to the bars that are there now, where they would scoot the booze up. And so we're doing that as well. And then we'll have our thing. So it's a lot of fun.
It's going to be super fun. So you guys go check that out. We're moving to the speed round with Carolyn now, which means we're going to ask her some of the same questions I ask most of my other guests. And let's see if I can successfully return us to a different banner. There we go. Gosh, I'm getting good at this. Only 100 more shows to go till I have it down. This may be show 100. So
congratulations.
It is. Yay, we're at 100. Or 101. Okay, so Pizza or sushi?
Oh, pizza.
Oh, good. Plotter or pantser?
Pantser, but plotter?
How do you even say that one? Dog or cat?
Both. Any animal. I would take a horse, cow. I've got where I live, I've got raccoons, I have coyotes, I have fish, I have a pond, I have skunks and lots of deer and squirrels, and I got it all going on up here.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna show up and come visit you.
Come
It's happy hour. What are you ordering?
Oh, happy hour. Drink wise, I would order a vodka and soda water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Deep Eddy's grapefruit myself with a little soda water. So check it out. What would Maisie be ordering?
Maisie would be ordering a beer.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little moonshine. Now, my family, my cousins do have a still in our family barn, so we do make the moonshine, and there is a little clear in the book. So,
I love it.
It has a little bit of that, a little bit of beer.
Okay, so when you are in the process of writing, if you had to pick one phase, would it be that you enjoyed the most? Would it be first draft, rewrite, or research?
First draft.
First draft.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate it so much. Oh, I have an idea. You write the first drafts, I'll do the rewrites. And Carolyn will do the research because she likes that.
Oh, she does. Yeah. Somebody sick Carolyn on it.
Exactly.
Messing with it.
Okay. And last question. If you could be one thing for a day that's not being a writer, what would it be? What would you want to be?
I would go back and be a therapist. I loved it. I loved it. I loved working with families. And I still talk to a lot of my families. They still show up to things. And, the kids now are in their 20s and 30s, but it still was such a rewarding, because I worked with developmental children with disabilities and their families, and it was so rewarding.
And do you find that that's been a real help to you with writing the books, that your work as a therapist?
Oh, yeah, because I can take things that I've learned and had to work with in the systems. And then because some of the systems are a little sketchy, and I would be like, wait, I can get this service. I'm like, well, not really, not down here because I was with families that were in rural.
Yeah.
And I would go to them. So, yeah.
Good for you. You know what I think of when I think about rural Kentucky? There's a picture that goes around occasionally on Facebook of librarians delivering books on horseback. And I think it was in Kentucky. And I think of that. And I think of Justified.
Oh, yeah. It's all like that. I mean, it really is. And people are like, oh my gosh, and it is all like that. And I love it. And I love being from here, and I love living here. And that's why all of my books are set in Kentucky.
And I think your readers love it too. I think that they're going to, from what I'm hearing, really, really love this new series. I really love this new series. I can't wait to have the other two books in the series come out. But we do have one last reader question. And Emily wants to know, does Rowena clean your face every day, Tonya?
I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook, but I finally posted a picture of Rowena every night. So we got Rowena when she was rescued by a local rescue, and she had come with 3 kittens. So she was an 8-month-old mama, and the kittens were already adopted, or I would have taken them too. But she, I think, has that still mama instinct so many years later. And I think my eyebrows are so big that I think she thinks they're kittens. So she's grooming them at night. In the middle of the night, I'll wake up and she's grooming me, and I'm like, so, and a lot of times I don't even care what I look like. I post pictures up on Facebook, and I'm the last rose of summer, honey. And so what happened was that she's over there grooming me. So if anybody wants to know what she's talking about, is last night I finally posted a picture of Rowena's tongue going.
I love it. You've got to be real, right? You've got to be real.
And that's what you get. That's, the way I am right here is the way I am. And people say that is, oh my gosh, you're exactly the same online as you are in person. I'm like, yeah, I don't change.
You got to be authentic. I mean, every time I move, I see the dog treadmill behind me. Can you see that red thing? That is actually the dog treadmill. We've got to be real, right?
Yes.
And
readers love that, because honestly, we're no different than them.
No.
We're the same every day. We're just trying to make a living like they are, and we're just getting up and doing our thing, and super appreciative for everything that they read.
Absolutely, because we wouldn't be able to do what we do
No,
without you guys.
that's right. And congratulations on all 3 books.
Congratulations on all 180 of yours. I'm 30.
Longer. I'm tired.
I know. I just have to work harder, Tonya. I have to work harder.
You don't.
You guys, this has been so much fun. And tell them a little bit about the best way to experience Sleight of Hand. Where should they go and get it? What formats are available? That kind of good stuff.
Okay. Well, it's on Amazon. It's Amazon Kindle Unlimited. And I also have it in hardback, paperback, and large print. And then it's also will be out in audio through Tantor Media, but not for like a couple months. So
okay. So we'll hold on for that. And I'm an audio listener, so I'll watch for that too.
Oh, good.
And I really enjoyed it. We've been crossing paths for a while now, and it was great to meet in person, or
yes,
sort of in person.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. And we're going to say bye to Tonya. Bye, Tonya. And then I'm going to go through the stuff I have to do, even though I hate to. It's the boring stuff to watch past shows, although actually that is the good part. You can watch, for instance, Carolyn Ritter Aspenson from last week or Craig Johnson from a few years ago. You go to my website, PamelaFaganHutchins.com. If you go there, you're also going to get the chance to pick up my books, like the series that Tonya and I will be co-promoting later this year, which is the Katie Connell series. And it's funny, and it is a little cozy. Paperback, hardback, large print audiobooks. And the big one, here we go. Crime and Wine is copyrighted by Authors on the Air Global Radio Network, a digital media corporation with over 4 million viewers and listeners in 153 countries, not all of whom are mine, but a lot of you are. And I thank you for it. I thank you for reading. I thank you for tuning in over and over. And I wish you a very fond farewell. And I will see you next time. When I watch this, I have to turn off a couple of things. Well, this is so hard. I have to turn off a couple of things to turn on my final thing. Are you ready? Are you ready? Boom. Thanks for joining us today on Crime and Wine, chats with crime fiction authors and Pamela Fagan Hutchins. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll check back in with us next time for more thrills, suspense, and stories that will mystify, sometimes horrify, and always leave you wanting more.